Sheila, coming to you, Professor Lukoye points at black colonization in the aftermath of the end of colonization. And as of course, my what's your expectation? What's your expectation then of a political class today that is largely a byproduct of Kanuism? I mean, if you look at the president, stalwart YK92 member, an MP in 1997, stood with Uhuru Kenyatta at the height when everyone deserted him, then became a cabinet minister in the Grand Coalition government, opposed the new constitution, became the first deputy president and now president, and the Kanu oligarchy, the byproduct around a constitutional order. Do you have any hopes that they understand what you guys are raising and the needed democratic credentials that should govern the Kenyan polity today?
My own father actually was a minister in the KANU regime. He was a member of KANU, and so when I look at them now, I can understand because I lived with somebody who was in the KANU regime. However, I think the difference was that in life, my dad was willing to adapt and change as things were moving by, and that's what I would always encourage this regime. You cannot apply the same tactics that worked then now, and you're applying it to us who never understood what the KANU regime was. Like I said, I went through school at the Kibaki era, and so that's what I understand, if you ask me. And I remember very vividly a lot of stories that were being told at the time about economic prosperity, about how it was easy to get access to credit. And a lot of small businesses were began at the time. And what is going on is that unless we have proper leadership that is willing to come to the table and say, hey, I'm coming from a different place than you are. Hey, this is the way I see things, and this is the way you see things. Now, how do we come together and we coexist? Because we must coexist. And again, this is not a small population. This is not a few goons here and there and a few youths here and there. This is 70% or even more of this country. So if you cannot listen to 70% or even more of this country, then where are we heading? And the tactics that are being used clearly are not effective. 1 year later, last year, during the same time, that's when we were in the streets getting tear gassed and injuring ourselves. Now again this year, literally on the same date, we're back on the streets again, meaning that there's a miscommunication that is going on. What is needed right now with the political class is that they need to understand that the general public is feeling alienated from them. And because they're put in positions of leadership, they're the ones to call the house to order and say, this is the way I see things. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. The other time we spoke about the list of promises that the president made last year. And I personally was very happy when he came out and he said, listen, we are going to work on austerity measures. Listen, there's no more harambes. Listen, and he gave a good, clear list. And I said, okay, that's what we've always wanted, because we have to separate what we are calling for as young people from the political opportunist. When I talk about things I'm talking about the issues. And I don't believe replacing, President Ruto with Prof here or Sheila here is going to be the magic pill. That is not it for me. I am talking about the issues. So when you come and you say, okay, guys, just calm down. This is the things that we're going to do. And then a few months later, what do we see? We see back to, monies being given in harambes. And we have a big population of this country that all they have is a phone. They do not have economic empowerment. Systemic economic empowerment is what we are advocating for, and things like that. So what needs to happen for us is very simple. We need to go back to the drawing board. There is no politics without economics. Okay. When I went to school and I wanted to do just economics, I was told you have to do political economy. Because there's no politics without the economics. The policies you have will affect the economics, and the economics you'll have will affect the policies. So when we studied modern day economics, we do political economy. Why? Because you have to ensure that the political class is well versed, is well prepared to handle and tackle the issue of economics. Young people, we want jobs, and no, we don't want you to go with a brown envelope and give us a job. My mother was telling me they used to walk around with a brown envelope and get jobs. That's not what we're doing. We have a very, very highly educated population, and we are risking getting this population becoming disillusioned. Okay. Give them jobs. Invest in IT. Invest in research and development. These will give us and by the way, these examples exist. You look at India, look at the Philippines. How are they able to absorb the youth so that the youth then there became, got some sense of employment. They have been able to create big IT hubs, business processing units. We can do that here. Why are we not focusing on those kinds of solutions?
Yeah, and